Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Salima and this is my kitchen. Today we are making a super traditional Puerto Rican recipe, pasteles. This super traditional recipe is usually only made around the holidays, usually during Christmas time, and for good reason because it is a true labor of love. It's typical for families to make this recipe together in a large group because of all of the steps that it takes. So because it's just me, I'm dividing this recipe up into 2 different days, and I think it makes it a lot less intimidating and much more approachable for home cooks. So if you're anything like me and you love pasteles and you crave them whenever you're in Puerto Rico, and on my most recent trip there, I was craving them so much that I made my husband drive all around the island looking for a restaurant that had them on their menu, even though it was in the middle of February. And like I said, these are traditionally only made around the holidays, so it's actually very hard to find them if it's not December. Luckily, we found a really cool restaurant in El Yunque in the rainforest, and they had these on their menu. And that's what inspired me to make my own recipe that I'm so excited to be sharing with you today. So full disclosure, the recipe is long, the steps are long, the ingredient list is long. Again, this is a labor of love. So if you're up for the challenge, grab all your ingredients and let's go. We'll start by making our filling in a pot with achiote oil and your diced chicken or pork. We're going to cook this down with our sofrito, our sazon, our adobo, and our pimento olives. You'll stir everything over medium-high heat until the meat is fully cooked through, and then you can cool it and store in the fridge until we're ready to use. Next, we're going to start making our masa. You'll need about a half a pound of squash. I'm using kabocha squash here. You'll just cut it into large pieces and peel as best as you can. I've found that doing this with a knife is what works best for me. We'll also need green plantains and green bananas for our masa, so make sure to get those peeled as well. Green bananas can be a little bit difficult to find, but if you talk to the produce manager at your local grocery store, they should be able to help you. And finally, you'll need to peel about 2 pounds of taro root. Once these veggies are all peeled, you can grate them roughly using a box grater or a food processor if you have that attachment, and then everything will get processed together in the food processor until it forms this really lovely paste. You may need to do this in batches depending on the size of your food processor. Then from here, we're going to add sofrito, achiote oil, and sazon to our masa, as well as about a cup of that liquid from the meat filling. This step is so important for adding flavor and helping for the masa and the meat filling to just tie in together really well. It also just results in a really moist, delicious masa. So mix all of that together, and if you're up for it, you can start assembling now, or you can set the masa in the fridge and wait until the next day for these steps. We're going to need banana leaves cut into roughly a square foot and parchment paper cut into the same dimensions. And we'll start by stacking 1 banana leaf on top of a square of parchment paper. You want to brush the center of that banana leaf with achiote oil. Again, this is going to add color and flavor as well as helping everything to prevent from sticking. And then we'll add a generous scoop of our masa into the center of the banana leaf and flatten it out as well as you can into kind of a oval square shape. It does not have to be precise or perfect here. In the center of that masa, we're going to add a generous scoop of our meat filling. And then we'll pull up the sides of the parchment and banana leaf and fold it over itself, really sealing all of that filling into the masa. We'll fold up the edges like so and then fold in the 2 sides, and you have assembled your first pastele. Now I recommend stacking 2 of them on top of each other and tying together with twine. This step really helps to keep them sealed while cooking in the water, and it's just something I grew up seeing family do, so we do it this way too. Tie your twine off with a bow and you are ready to go. Now, like I said earlier, I like to freeze some of these, so that's my freezer bag ready to go. And then as for the pasteles you want to cook right away, you can cook them in boiling salted water for about an hour. The color of the water will change into this beautiful orangey color, and after an hour, you are ready to enjoy. I recommend letting them cool for about 5 to 10 minutes just so you don't burn yourself when you're unwrapping them, and then you're ready to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Okay, so I wasn't lying, that was involved. There were a lot of steps, but I am not kidding when I say it is so worth it. I like to do a double batch of these and freeze half of them so I have them for many months. I was gonna say all year long, but they do not last that long. Like I eat them within a few months every time. So you decide how many you wanna make, and I highly recommend freezing them so that you have extra for some amount of time. So let's jump in because I can't wait any longer. The filling is super flavorful. The chicken is like cooked perfectly. The olives are so flavorful in there. But I gotta be honest, my favorite part is the masa. Like the texture of it is so addicting and smooth and creamy, but it has a little bit of a bite to it. There's a reason why Puerto Ricans put so much time and energy into this dish every year. It is so incredible, and if you've never tried it, I highly recommend giving it a shot this Christmas or whenever you feel like you have the time and energy. I'm gonna go finish this and I will catch you guys next time.